Today on the G3 Border, we are going to be reviewing Slay the Spire, the board game based on the video game, based on the one-act play.
Based on mankind's desire to slay spires.
Yes.
Well, I like to, I'll chime in real quick. This, again, it's the collector's edition that we play, and so your mileage may vary. There may be some different things in here that you don't have if you're just using the normal version, but this is the collector's version, and that's what we're talking about today. So, a few differences.
I think the biggest thing is that the collector's version gives you really solid coins.
And this,
and
the
play mat,
neoprene mat for the store,
as opposed to just the cardboard cutout coins. I mean, it doesn't. I don't. You know, there's sometimes when you get like a Kickstarter edition or a collector's edition, you know, there are things that make the gameplay better. Like I know that. Like Doomlings, for instance, you know, if you get the extra play mats, it makes it easier and it kind of affects game. But this one, I mean, it's really cool having these coins, but it didn't really affect gameplay or make it much
store
better.
neoprene mat.
You know, we went to the store once in our Act 1 playthrough.
In our playthrough, we went there once, but it happens frequently throughout the game. It happens enough.
I'm not saying that, you know, that the collector's edition is a bad thing. It's just, you know.
The problem with that neoprene mat is this. They actually give you a really nice store anyway.
Yeah, and this neoprene mat is kind of bendy and
flat.
Yeah.
You're bendy.
Wavy.
Shut up. Anyway, so
I've spoken like a man that spent a lot of money on the collector's edition.
I spent a lot of money on the collector's edition. All right, with that in mind, I would say the pieces are nice. The cards are great. They're of good quality, but they also give you deck protectors right in the box. So I can't argue with that. When I first got this game, I was looking at it, I'm like, well, it's a one-sided thing, and the upgrades are on the other side. Believe me, you need it, or you're going to end up flipping your cards over because the upgrades are on the other side of the card. You're going to end up not knowing.
Yeah, because there's certain
it's
points.
a clever mechanic.
It is. It's a
Yeah.
simple way to solve an obvious problem.
Yeah.
Because when there's certain times in the game where you're going to have to upgrade your card, and so this way you just pull it out, turn it over, put it back in, and you cannot confuse that card.
Now for the monster decks, I just use regular
See-through.
transparent.
Yeah.
And sleeve all your stuff because these cards do get moved around a lot.
Yes.
And so definitely it's a deck builder, so it gets moved around a lot.
Yeah, and no, it's funny because it's a deck builder, but it's almost like a sneaky deck builder. You know, it doesn't seem as there seems to be a lot of other really cool stuff going on. Kind of aside from just getting rid of your crappy cards and trying to upgrade your good cards. There's a lot of things you can do with without upgrading your cards. There's a lot of other games like some of the I'm drawing a blank.
Legendary?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Like some of the legendary.
It's fun to watch them struggle.
The legendary games, like you're not going to win that game unless you're getting rid of your starter cards and getting the good cards. And there's times in that game where if you don't do that, you're just stuck. And this one, we played games where we haven't done too many upgrades, and we still done okay.
I think I think the point you're trying to make, if I may make it for you, is the game is in fact a deck builder.
Yeah.
You get new cards that go into your deck. You get rid of old cards. But I think what you're really looking for is the quality of cards you're improving. The stuff that comes out of the deck is so interesting. The upgrades are so interesting, unique, and you can build cool things out of them that you forget that that's really the mechanic of what's going on because you're looking at the cool combos you can do.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not things that really happen in a game like the Legendary series.
Mm-hmm.
Different cards are better, sure. But, I mean, almost every time you upgraded it or you dragged a new card, you're like, wow, look at this. This is great. And that doesn't happen in Marvel Legendary. A lot of times in Marvel Legendary, at least, or the Legendary series, you're looking, you're like, well, I gotta take something.
Yeah.
But it's not game changing. It's not paradigm altering. It's just, well, this guy does 3 attack instead of 2. So
Well, the simultaneous play is a different concept that I'm used to because Legendary you had to play one player at a time. Mm-hmm. You could still discuss what you're going to plan on doing. But this time, you can go back and forth. Say, I'll play this one. Then you play that one that adds to the vulnerability or whatnot.
Right, and we seem to do that a lot, you and I.
Yeah.
So he kind of plays his own game where he's like, I'm going to pile on poison and damage, and that's that.
There was a few times I could have waited or held off or played something before you played something to add to yours. But
But only seems to happen with us. But that's okay.
Yeah.
But the combo is apply a vulnerability, then hit with something, as opposed to playing them out of order. But with that in mind, I played or tell us who you played at and why you liked them.
And so I played as the silent and buying a sort of a poison-using, dagger-throwing assassin. And I played this game before, and I've enjoyed it every time I've played. But in our playthrough, I really got to use a lot of really cool, unique cards that the Silent has. In other games that I've played, I've had a great time, loved it, but didn't really see a lot of poison cards come up. And didn't really see a lot of the dagger cards
bad
come
shuffle of his deck.
Yeah, very bad. And so that's kind of another reason why I kind of forget this is a deck builder, because I just want to I'm not trying to improve it's not all about improving your deck. It's just getting all the other stuff out, and getting that variety that makes it better.
To play a game like this efficiently on the first time or second time, because you don't know what's all in the deck unless you took the time to study it beforehand. But that's part of the fun, is discovering it as you play along.
That's actually the crux of any collectible card game, is you never know what's right in the deck. Yeah. If someone just says, hey, play this game with me, take this stuff, you have no idea how it's built. And but that stuff comes in time too. Who'd you play as, Bob?
The Ironclad, which is basically a bullet shield.
A bullet sponge.
A bullet sponge, and also, good clobbering in there for some of the Carnage card dealt like 6 damage, which was nice.
A lot of you're giving away a lot of blocks too to other people. Was that a function of your character, or did you just have items or potions?
There was one card that could give away 2, and then I had potions. But that card came up a few times where I was able to give those blocks. A couple times I offered, and no one took it. Or we didn't need to take it.
Don't you start.
We were told you didn't need to take it, but we needed to take it.
Yeah. Well, then you need... Yeah. I played as the defect.
Well, so I was going to comment.
Go.
I never got my golden ticket. Never came up, but luckily my Space Whale gave me a rare card off the beginning.
So the golden ticket is a normal card that gives you a rare card.
Yeah. For me, I played as a defect, and my whole thing is channeling these orbs. Channel orbs, then evoke the orbs to do damage. And the stumbling block with this character is if you don't start getting the cards out of the deck that help you channel and evoke. And so you need cards specifically to trigger those things. And it's a combination of stuff. I'm channeling it, I'm putting it in the pool, and I'm evoking it to take it out. Now, a couple times it worked. You guys saw me do like 10 damage with one shot.
Yeah.
So a couple times you can get together some pretty good stuff. But the game actually tells you the guys that are easier or more difficult to play. And these are the 3 easiest ones. The other one is a little bit more difficult. It's called the Watcher. Who has different forms, like an attack form and a defense form. It's a little bit more tricky.
That's cool.
But again, the trickier the character is, the more brutal of combos you can have. Don't take this the wrong way. Bob ended up with this character who's the easiest one to play. It's pretty straightforward. I'm hitting, I'm blocking. Jay's is a little more complex, had different combos in it. This is a little more complex. But I think they're all good and interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Bob had that Carnage card that he's like, I'm upgrade. As soon as he could upgrade, I'm like, yeah, 6 damage. And Bob goes to hell with a hatchet and starts mowing through things, so.
Yeah, I have a problem with some of the names of some of these cards. Bob got to say, I'm Carnage.
And anger.
Yeah. And, what do I got? I'm like, I'm a predator.
Well, you kept saying
I have
Bane.
malaise.
Malaise.
Yeah. But Bane was fun.
Yeah, Bane was fun.
So, I was going to make a comment that for being the defect, you were very effective.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But my guy's head appears to be made of wood.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
But all the characters play in a very unique way, and they're all worth exploring and having fun with. And at different times, you might think you want to play as a different style. They're all good. I think they're all fun. I think the bad guys that come out are interesting. There are a few, if you watch our playthrough, there are a few that, here's a good time. Go watch our playthrough, would you please? And click like on that, too.
We'll wait.
You're back. Okay. So, there were some enemies that came out that was like, oh, this guy's got 50 hit points. How are we gonna deal with that? And after two rounds, like,
he's okay.
They just let him die. He's dead already. He just doesn't know it,
Yeah.
So, he's so full of poison that he's gonna crawl off and be done. But yeah, I think it's a good game. This game, the collector's edition, even the normal edition, is very expensive, and that leads to one of the issues I have, which we'll cover in a moment. Jay, you got final thoughts here?
We always have a lot of fun playing this game. It's a pretty heavy game. It's going to take you a long time. Our playthrough, we only played through Act 1, and that was almost 2 hours. So if you're going to go all the way, it goes all the way through Act 4. It might go to Act 4.
It might go to Act 4. There's a trick to it I don't want to tell you.
Okay, so I mean, this is a heavy game that's going to be a big time investment, for your game night. But boy, I really think it's worth it. And we played this game. The other times we played have been with just the three of us. I would love to play this game with a fourth and just get that other influence in there.
Well, word on the time, the box does say 90 minutes per act. I think our playthrough is around 90. That. Yeah. But I promise you, if you add a fourth person, you're adding another half an hour.
Probably.
I'm thinking it's a half an hour per person.
Yeah.
No, because it wouldn't be any shorter if you were playing solo. No, it's hour and a half and up, I would say.
Final thought, or the last comment, as Jason mentioned, it's a very heavy game. So the one negative I could say is you have to pay attention to every moving piece, what's going on, because you can miss something either that benefits you, or there's a mechanic of the game that you might misinterpret or just not catch during your turns, because sometimes we would forget to do our either beginning of turn or end of combat skills. So that's really my only criticism of it, is just that there's so much of it that sometimes it's hard to track.
It's easy to miss some of the minutia.
Yeah. I guess, but that's sort of on the player. I miss things too, but I can't criticize the game for not telling me to do something when it's written right on my card.
But if there's too much, you can be overwhelmed.
True.
My comment to that would be this. I always fail to spend my energy when I'm spending my cards. Now I know how much I have, and I never exceeded it. But I would spend my 3 energy, and I'd look, and I'm like, I did the 2, and I just got.
So I mean, what's the age? I don't remember.
I don't know.
So I mean, even like a young teenager might have difficulty keeping track.
I think so. I would say this one is for your older teenagers and less
it
drunk
says
adults.
13 plus. So
it's a very heavy game.
It is.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it though. Every time I've played it, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing that I could say negatively about it is just probably the length of time.
It's longer.
Kind of heavy.
But if you guys have had your final thoughts, I'm going to make my final thing here. I like this game. I think it's great. I think it's a lot of fun, and I don't feel like I've wasted my money on it. However, the video game is like $6 or $10 or something. Yeah. The collector's edition was $180 when I bought it. So I find it hard to justify spending $180 on a board game when I can get the same experience or very close to the same experience from the video game for
I don't know.
For less than 10% of the price.
Because I played Gloomhaven, and I played Gloomhaven on PS5.
Gloomhaven sucks on PS5.
Yeah, it does. The board game is much, much better. I've never played the video game, though. So.
But you don't have...
The difference you're going to get is when you're playing the video game, you are playing by yourself.
Yep.
This, you play with your friends. And so you have someone to blame when things go against you.
Which is the main thing.
I would say some of the cards are different. There's some minor adjustments to some of the cards. In the video game, there's a lot more poison stuff available to you. And so, you can get to bosses and apply like 30, 40 poison and just like watch them drop in like 2 turns. It's like, see you later.
Can you play that game online with friends, or is it just straight up solo?
Single player.
It's single player.
Yeah.
Okay. They have announced a sequel to the video game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So,
but my comment is, with any board game, there is always the social aspect. You're face to face with friends,
right?
And that's always going to be more beneficial and more enjoyable than just by yourself most of the time.
Yeah, it's just a word of warning. If you are buying this game to play it solo, you're probably better off just buying the video game. Other than that, I think it's fantastic. I think
Less
it's
to
great.
clean up.
Yeah. This is going to take Jay a minute to clean up because I'm out of here.
This game's a cool dungeon crawler. Sort of. Going along killing things. It'd be more. I think it'd be a little more fun if they, I don't know, lightened it maybe a little bit and made it be for like 5 or 6 players. But because this maxes out at 4.
Yeah.
Takes
but
up a lot of real estate, though.
I don't
You
know,
need a
man.
table
No, it
twice the
does.
size.
If you added more people like that, you're adding to the time, which was your main complaint a moment ago.
Well, I think you'd have to lighten the game a little bit.
Yeah, if you pared it down.
Kind of speed things up.
It
So,
wouldn't be as fun.
but yeah,
I like it.
I'm not gonna. It's not my place to noodle with their developed game already. But yeah,
If you're on the fence on this one, get off the fence, go buy it. That's what I'd say.
yeah, I'd say I would agree.
Yeah.
I don't know if you absolutely need the collector's edition, but
You put dents on the table with this stuff.
yeah,
All right. So that's it. Slay the Spire. Go get it if you can. Other than that, hit like, hit subscribe, comment on the bottom. Did you get this game? What do you think about it? Am I wrong about the video game being? I'm not wrong about being much cheaper. Tell me if I'm wrong about my opinion. Until next time.
see you next time.